Okay, this is my reflection on Chapter 9, Conflicts and Relationships. And I really want to get into the application little project we did first. I was scrolling through my phone trying to find conversations, and first off, it was really difficult to find a conversation that lasted 15 messages. I feel like when conversations get that long, I end up just calling the person because I'm not a very good texter. And what I noticed is I was expecting to see I don't know why I was expecting to see this, but I was expecting to see really similar conversational patterns and power dynamics across a lot of my conversations, right? I didn't think that power dynamics would show up differently in a lot of different conversation. And I noticed immediately that that is just not true. The way that I, and it should be, I mean, this makes sense, but the way that the power dynamic is with my wife is way different from what it is with my mom versus my sister versus my friends. And I guess I just wasn't expecting to see it, right? With my wife, it is super transitory, right? A lot of one across messages. Sometimes somebody will one up and then the person will one down, right? So it's a lot of symmetry. It's not, I mean, not symmetry. It's a lot of difference, right? And so when somebody goes down, somebody goes up as a caretaker, right? In both directions. And then there's like conversations with my friends where we're both just escalating over one another and we're both going down with each other. And my mom's conversation resembles more of my conversations with my wife, right? Um, I just thought it was interesting. I wasn't expecting to see that. Um, a lot of this stuff, I hate saying this with each one, but it's interesting how much of the stuff I've learned in our communications courses is stuff that you learn really early on in psychology courses as well. Because I think communication plays such a big role in how we feel about one another, right? Um, and sometimes it's not even our fault. Sometimes it's just, well, this communication style makes this person feel this certain way because of this thing that happened, or and it's not stuff that we can view if we're not emotionally vulnerable and willing to talk about it, right? Um, a, a section that I really focused on under it was actually under interpretation, and it's something that I struggle with, which is letting go of negative thoughts, right? We talk about this a lot in psychology, spiraling, right? Um, Especially during conflict. Um, I am once divorced. I am very happy with my wife, but I was once divorced, um, and this happened a lot in our conflict. Is we really couldn't have healthy conflict because the other person would spiral. And looking back, I don't even think we approached the conflict incorrectly, right? I think we actually did a really good job of using I statements and sharing how we were feeling without belittling the other person. But because somebody would respond, somebody had these really negative thoughts and would respond a little defensively, it would then turn the conflict. So we'd approach the conflict correctly and then lose it really quickly, and start to spiral, and then we didn't gain anything from it. And as I've been comparing those conflicts to the conflicts with my wife, and me and my wife often talk about how we feel like we never fight, but it's because our conflicts are never there's they're never there's never anger involved. We're able to Our conflicts are just conversations, right? Where we say, "Hey, I'm kind of feeling this way," and the other person helps us understand why we're feeling that way. And a lot of the time, it involves with something we can both be doing better. But we approach our conflicts and with how we are feeling, right? We don't say, "Hey, you are doing this thing and it is making me feel this way." It is, "Hey, I'm starting to feel this way. Can you help me figure out why I'm feeling that way?" But anyway, a really cool chapter. Being able to, I hate the term disagree better because there's some things it's not worth disagreeing better about. But the ability to talk with one another about how we're feeling without hurting the other person is really important.